Okay, so yeah, maybe the title's a little bit clickbaity. I'm sure you're actually pretty good at fuzzing, but give me just a few minutes and hopefully I can show you a few tricks that'll help you discover more endpoints and maybe land that next foothold in a CTF or even a bug bounty. So I created a web-based challenge for Nahamcon CTF last week, and I noticed players kept on getting stuck at the exact same point. I'd supplied a word list, and through fuzzing, people discovered the endpoint of /API/users, which this returned a 401 HTTP status and a message that read authentication required. So when you're exploring an API, either in a CTF or in the real world, it's crucial to think like a developer. REST APIs often follow predictable structured patterns. So when you discover something like /API/users, you're likely looking at a collection, and in this case it's a collection of users. If you had access to it, it would probably list every user that's on the system. But from here it's natural to think, how would I specify a single user? In this case, we'll try with just an ID number. Even though you get the same 401 status here, that response is golden. It means the endpoint exists and you're not just hitting a 404 not found. It's an invitation to keep on going. Now think about how APIs are often designed. If you've got a user object, what features might be tied to them? For example, viewing a profile, resetting a password, for example. The logical pattern for accessing these features would be /API/users/ID number and then / the feature itself. So going back to fuzzing, we can try again with our word list. As you'll see, again, this will give us no results though. And here we'll learn another lesson that all 404 HTTP status codes are not created equal, and here's where a lot of players got stuck. As you can see from our default fuzzing filter, we're only looking for the following HTTP status codes, but 404s are being filtered out. Let's instead match all HTTP status codes. As we'll see, every request is rightly returned back to us. It looks like the default size for a proper 404 is 30 bytes. So let's filter those results out, and now you'll see that we're left with only one result, which is log. We can also use the FR flag, which is filter for regex. This simply filters out any results for the pattern that we specify. In this case, I'm just using the word endpoint, which appears in the default 404 status error. But why are we getting a 404 still when we found a valid endpoint? Well, let's make a request using curl and see. So yes, we have a 404 again, but an error of user not found. So we're not getting a 404 because the endpoint isn't found, we're getting the 404 because the user isn't found instead. At this point we've found the user collection and a feature of the user, so now we just need to find a valid user ID. We can use the sequence command in Linux and pipe that in instead of using a word list. Brilliant, we've got our result and it's ID number 87. Viewing this endpoint will give us our first flag along with some other important information to continue the challenge. If you want to play along on this challenge, we have it hosted over on Hacking Hub. Just go over to Hubs, then the Nahamcon 2025 CTF module. Click on the hub called Fuzzies, then click on Launch Hub to start playing and see if you can get the rest of the flags.